will not do it. It's not biblical because not one of you has ever given me a meaningful biblical basis for doing so. Not once. Now let me address another really silly argument. Well, let me just read it. Here's the statement. Okay, here is the initial issue I and others have with Dr. White's comments was that he was completely graceless in his observations and future predictions of this boy. I talked about the common grace of God in my own life. How did you miss that? How did you miss that? I don't know the boy's name. I was simply looking at what's happening in our society and said, look at how the grace of God comes to us. Here's how common grace comes to us. This is what fatherlessness does. This is what Planned Parenthood does. How did you miss that? It's right there, even in 545 words. What could possibly cause someone who says, I love the stuff this guy's done, to so radically miss what I said? I say it's the racial lens. Anyone want to suggest something else? He, in effect, ignored the fact this young teen boy was still made in the image of God and simply reduced him to a throwaway set of statistics. It's a lie. L-I-E. Lie. Repent of it. It's wrong. It's untruthful. You can repeat it over and over again. It's wrong. You have no basis for saying that. That is the most uncharitable, unkind reading. I can understand why an enemy would do that. So what amongst Christians would turn you into my enemy in reading my words, if it's not a racial lens? Then, the fact that he continued to double down on them and ignore or rebuff the multiple godly men who approached him privately. Who? Who? Who are you talking about? Only to argue with a female MDiv student on social media is unsettling. Wow. I can't win for losing. What did I see for days? Oh, you should at least interact with this scholarly, fair, kind RAAN article. I do it? You're picking on female MDiv students. You can't win. Do you all not see the bias and prejudice here? I mean, wow, I expect this from people who are my enemies. Why? Because of a bias that's there. Well, where's this bias coming from? If not from a racial lens. Just amazing. The James White we're used to seeing put up a careful video blog on how to talk to Muslims in a fashion that seeks to win the soul of the individual. The James White we're used to seeing wrote words that almost moved people to tears when he described the deep spiritual darkness he encountered every year he visited Salt Lake City to witness to Mormons. Where was all this grace and care and hope in his description of the boy in the video? Do you not see what you're doing? You've made race equal to cultic error. Do you not see that? I mean, I see it. It's right clear. I wrote a 545 word, brief little article reflecting on how God's grace had kept me in my youth. And now I'm being, why didn't you turn around with a second? Why isn't there something about the image of God? The bigotry here is astounding. It's astounding. Why is it being accepted by so many people? I don't get it. I don't understand this. And by the way, then, even more disturbing, and one person posted in the comments to him on Facebook, was the Pharisee-like rose-colored glasses description of his own time period growing up, as though the sins of littering and contempt for authority only came into existence after his childhood was complete. Wow. Really? Seriously? Are you saying there was less restraint in our society? Was Bruce Springsteen canceling concerts in the late 1970s over bathroom laws? Were people walking down the streets with their underwear hanging out and their pants under their buns? Now, I will admit this. We wore short shorts back then. Let's look at the NBA. Wow. When did that insanity finally end? But anyways, but seriously? totally missing the point that I was making, is that is someone really arguing? And this is Pharisee-like? I mean, the insults in here are just, really? But it's okay as long as it's coming from one direction. Can you imagine if I used even a tenth of the language that's been used of me in the past couple of weeks? Wow. I mean, it would be absolutely positive, incredible. But here's the problem. By the way, this article also says that I created a term, racial Gnosticism. It's ethnic Gnosticism. I didn't create it. That was discussed in fullness on this program years ago by Vodi Balcom. I think it's his. I don't know. He didn't say that he created that phrase, but it sounds like a Vodiism. But I'm simply taking it from him and saying, wow, you know what? I'll be honest with you. At the time when he was describing it, I really wasn't exactly sure how to apply it. I hadn't been in a firestorm like this. Now I know exactly what he's talking about. You can't talk about it until you experience it. You can't talk about it until you experience it, and it's only certain people who get to say that. Other people don't get to say that at all. But I didn't create it. It's been used by others long before me. I borrowed it, and I've even said that. I even pointed that out. But here's the issue. People are telling me that you need to, everyone assumes that I was contacted by 14 dozen different people. If you're talking Twitter, I turned Twitter off. Did we get any phone calls from
Not a single phone call on this issue.
I got no emails. I got no phone calls.
We did get one letter from a guy objecting to you blocking good brothers.
Okay.
That's it.
Great.
I told you about
social media stuff. I'm being told that I must validate CCRT, and then I must engage in extensive dialogue with CCRT. And I've defined Christianized critical race theory. This idea that there are certain structures built into our society that favor certain races over other races. And